Hey guys, it's Kelly and Daniel from fitnessblender.com, and today we're doing day 1 of a free 5-day workout challenge here on YouTube.
So we've designed this workout challenge to go through the whole 5 days, hitting every single muscle group in the entire body to make sure that you can really use this for pretty much any kind of purpose you want, whether you're trying to lose weight, whether you're trying to tone up, whether you're trying to gain strength, or if you're actually trying to put on some muscle mass.
All you're going to need to follow along with this challenge is a little bit of motivation and a set of dumbbells. And even if you don't have dumbbells, you can always get creative. You can use soup cans, book bags, whatever you need to get the job done.
So the difficulty level of this ranges from beginner all the way up to advanced. What we're going to be doing is Kelly and I are both going to be in the videos with each one of these, and we're going to be showing you all the different variations as we go through it, so you'll always have someone to follow.
This workout challenge incorporates a little bit of everything. We'll be doing high intensity interval training, strength training, cardio, stretching, you name it, you're probably going to find it in this 5-day challenge.
Now you're going to want to make sure that you actually follow this day by day. We have it lined out so you're not doubling up on muscle groups, so you should be able to get through this if you follow through perfectly. If you switch between days, it's going to make it a lot more difficult and you have a chance of injury. So definitely make sure to talk to your doctor before you start into this. You want to make sure you have express permission that you're okay to go through this routine.
Because it is intense. You will be working hard.
We're going to be wanting you to push yourself on this.
So today's workout, we're going to be doing some pretty intense HIIT along with lower body strength training. So let's go ahead and start up with our warm-up. All right, we're going to start off with a nice light cardio warm-up with roughly 25 seconds for each active interval, starting off with an overhead stretch plus a toe touch. I'm going to go from the side. So overhead, stretch up, and then fold down, kind of graze your toes.
Right in the face.
So you get a stretch at the top and the bottom.
So since this is a warm-up, take your time, move slowly, move fluidly, try to get a nice full range of motion, but don't worry about pushing it.
All right, next up we're going to a torso twist. So just a basic.
You can just rotate those shoulders back and forth, or you can get that knee in there to force your hips to rotate a little bit more as well. Start slow, speed up as you start feeling like you can. Always listen to your body, don't try to push yourself too far, too fast.
I'm gonna switch it to a boxer shuffle in just a few seconds. All right, there we go.
Boxer shuffle, just stay up on those toes. Nice quick movement. Again, don't worry about going too quick. This is just a warm-up. Going in unison?
What?
Going in unison?
Right, next up we're doing high knee pulls. So plant your feet on the ground, arms up, and pull your knee up as you bring your arms back down.
Really work that range of motion. Try to warm up those hip flexors.
Make sure and contract your stomach muscles too. One thing about this program, or this little challenge, we always encourage you guys to be flexing, contracting your muscles all the time. There's no reason that you can't work your lower body during an upper body workout and vice versa. All right, next up we're doing the high toe, or high kick toe touch. Stay on just one side of the body at first.
Doesn't matter which one you start with. Just make sure you do the other one on the next round. Shouldn't have to worry too much about remembering that.
50-50 chance. So if you can't kick very high, don't worry. If you need to hold onto a wall, that's fine as well. Some of this stuff requires a lot of balance. It's kind of deceptively difficult. Switch feet, but just make it work for you. Do whatever you have to do to make it work for you. Another important thing, never hold your breath. Some of these exercises are really easy to kind of forget what you're doing and you start holding your breath. We don't want you passed out at home. All right, going into jumping jacks.
Make sure you're keeping those arms and legs nice and rigid. You don't want to just kind of flail your arms and legs around. You always want them under control.
No partial effort either, none of this.
Yeah.
Get your arms straight. 2, 1, all right. Now just a basic squat, so feet shoulder width apart, and sink back only as low as you can control. And if that's not very deep just yet, that's okay.
By this point, those legs should be a little bit warmer. Those hips should be starting to open up a little bit. Every single squat down should give you a little extra range of motion.
All right, next up we're doing alternating lunges. So step forward, then come back and switch feet.
Again, keep those lungs open, especially as you start getting into some of the exercises where your core is being worked quite a lot more, or there's a lot more demand on it. Your body's gonna have a tendency to wanna hold your breath anytime that core tightens up. Just gotta force it to keep breathing.
All right, butt kickers. So just like they sound, if you're trying to keep this low impact, just stay right here. Just take out the jumping motion. It's our last warm-up cardio interval. Then we're moving into our HIIT. Brace yourself.
Keep those lungs open. Keep moving, speed it up if you can.
All right, there we go.
Let's go ahead and get started with our HIIT portion of this routine. We are going to be doing 20 seconds active, 10 seconds rest. For each one of these exercises, we're gonna be going through 4 of them, and we're gonna be doing 4 sets of each before we move on to the next one. After we have those 4 done, we get a little bit of a break before we do our next 4. So, let's go ahead and get started with the first exercise, which is going to be X burpees. Kelly will be showing you the easier version. I'll be doing the hardest version.
And here we go.
So down, out, and up. It's kind of like a jumping jack motion. Start with your hands nice and close. Hop them out for the harder version. At the bottom and the top.
This is a lot lower impact. I've taken out all the jumps for this. And there's our break. So feet are never still. Through this entire little 5-day challenge, you're never holding still. Even while you're resting, you're doing at least a boxer shuffle. Here we go, starting up second round. Remember to alternate which foot is stepping back first each time.
Keep those lungs open. Move as quickly as you can.
3, 2, 1. All right. Halfway done. How are those high impact versions treating you?
Yeah, they're pretty rough.
I think I definitely got the better deals.
Yeah, I think you did.
Here we go.
Again, remind yourself to keep those lungs open.
Just one more of those left.
Good, I'm glad to be done with those. Although the next one's not any easier.
There you go. Pull in your core, squeeze your glutes as you push yourself back up.
Whew, that burns.
2, 1.
All right, next one is a thigh slap with a touchdown. So watch me for the hardest.
1. Here we go. And down. So slap, slap, and down.
For the hardest, both those knees come up. Alternate one hand at a time.
So whether you're doing the hard version or the easy version, doesn't matter. Go at your own pace. Make sure that you don't have to keep up with us exactly. If you need to move slower, if you can beat us, go for it. That's the goal here, okay?
Should be able to beat me. I'm a little sore today.
Yeah, I know. Keep your back flat as you go down to touch the ground. Push back up through your heels. Is that 2?
That's 2 down. 2 more.
3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Make sure you're bringing those knees up to your hands, and don't bring those hands down to those knees.
All right. Just one more.
One more. Keep those lungs open.
2. Here we go.
Keep those lungs open, breathing as normally as you can. Don't hold your breath.
3 seconds. Alright, next up, we've got Sidewinder mountain climbers. So the advanced version of these hurt pretty good. Follow along with the other ones if you're brave enough. Otherwise, we're walking it out. So here, so you're going up by your hands and then stepping out into a tall plank. So if you're doing it like me, you're walking one limb at a time, whereas Daniel is doing the much harder, having to move his entire body weight.
Ooh, man.
Still sweating. Do the easy version. Yelsa.
Keep those lungs open.
Two more of those. So nice deep breaths, 3 seconds.
Wardrobe malfunction.
I've seen worse.
Oh man.
You alright?
Quads are burning. Yeah.
So that's the other thing. If at any point you're too tired or your form starts to suffer, stop. Just stop. Sometimes even a 2-second rest can help you go push yourself harder for the rest of the active interval.
All right.
So don't be afraid to stop.
Last one.
Five seconds. Oh, okay. And with that one, okay. Our last interval before a quick water break is high knees.
Keep that speed up as best you can. Start
Here we
them up.
go. So if you don't want the impact on your joints, stay here.
At the same time,
You can add.
sorry, if you're doing this, the hardest version, you should be taking up most of that shock with your foot, using that calf muscle and that ankle, not through that hip. Should never land flat-footed. Whew, got a good sweat going.
Here we go. Faster. Go faster. Push, speeders.
Save some of the last two. Try to drive those knees up, at least hip height.
Alright, quick break. Just 2 more of those to go. Here we go. Ten seconds. Two, one. Just one more and you get a quick drink of water.
Recover as best you can.
1.
You get a little bit of a break after this, so push yourself. 5 seconds left.
2, 1. Alright, remember, don't hold still, don't sit on the couch, just grab a drink of water, hit pause if you need an extra second, but don't go too far. We'll finish up the rest of the HIIT in just a minute.
Be right back. All right, let's go ahead and start into our second half of this HIIT routine, starting off with squat jumps, everyone's favorite, right?
Alright, if you want to stay low impact, just do a regular squat. If you want to make it harder, go ahead and add weights. You can add to the difficulty without adding to the impact.
If you're doing the full version like I am, concentrate on using those calves and those legs to recoil, sucking up as much of that impact as possible. Rest.
3, 2, 1, here we go. So if you want to make it a little bit harder, but not as hard as the hardest version, you can always do like an occasional jump squat, and then just do a couple regular. Just focus on whatever your comfort level is, focus on just pushing it just a little bit each time.
It's our first one of this group and it already burns.
Oh, there you go.
I always hate doing 4 sets in a row, but with these types of workouts, where you're focusing on endurance, the longer you do the same muscle, the more endurance you're gonna force it to build.
Just one more of those.
There's always a reason behind everything we do.
So HIIT, for example, high intensity interval training, what we're doing right now, doing short bursts of activity that are really hard to sustain for anything longer than 20 seconds, and that riles up your metabolism, it disturbs it, so that it takes a while for the rate at which your body burns calories to go back to normal. So it's a version of working smarter and not harder. So this workout is so much better than spending 2 hours on the treadmill.
So our last round of these?
Yeah. Especially if you're doing the high impact version.
No, this feels great. It's like a
Walk in the park.
Oh, it's like getting a massage. It's lovely.
3, 2, 1. I think we just did an extra one of that, didn't we?
Yeah, looks like we did.
Yep. Yay.
Good job for you guys.
Next up, we're doing 3, 2, 1 lunges. So, nope, lunges.
Oh, 3, 2, 1 lunges.
Sorry.
Whoops.
So,
I don't know if I can do the jump.
You can do it. There you go. I can do it if you do that. Otherwise, you're just sinking down. 3, 2, 1. Just getting comfortable with the pain.
Maybe cut this one down to 3 sets.
Okay. We'll make up for our time.
Yeah.
Here we go. Make sure you're just dropping down right between those 2 feet. Keep your torso upright, stomach pulled in.
Ouch.
3 seconds left. Right. You all right?
I suppose. Is there a last one?
Yeah.
Okay. Cutting this one down to 3. For that extra one we did for those squat jumps. Since this is a really similar motion, just taxes those legs differently.
2, 1.
Oh man.
All right. Next up, we have burpee holds. So you're kicking back into a burpee, coming up and just staying there in a low squat before you go right back down. So Daniel's showing you the harder version.
Just keep those hips down nice and low. It's a lot of work on those legs. Oh, man. But believe me, it'll definitely help for that calorie burn, that fat burn.
3, 2, 1. Here we go.
Ooh.
You doing all right?
Just go to that happy place.
3 seconds left. Oy. Okay. 2 left.
2 left.
Want me to do the harder one?
Okay.
Let me know.
One more. Keep those lungs open. It's the last time I let Kelly write a routine for us. These are killers. All right, that's the last one of those. You got one more exercise. This HIIT portion, pop squats.
Right, staying here for a regular squat.
Keep those lungs open. Keep everything moving nice and fluid. Whew.
It's hot in here.
It is really warm in here.
It's like a sauna. Here we go.
Oops. I don't remember what I'm doing.
Confusion is a symptom of HIIT. It's a progression.
So some of you know that we probably live up in the Northwest. Where we live is cool enough that most places don't have air conditioning.
Yeah.
I.e. our filming studio. So it's in the high 70s in here right now. By the time we're done, it's probably gonna be mid 80s.
There we go. So it's out of balance challenge. So the easy version, if you can, just go ahead and kick in front of your body. You can do it as low as you need to. Hold on to something if you have to. Just 2 more of these.
Whew. Last one.
Yep.
All right, keep those feet moving. Give it a little extra break here. Go grab a drink of water.
Not yet.
Oh, what? You got one more? You said it was the last one.
I meant.
Here I am, wishing I'm done. Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, you're probably gonna hate me for that.
At least I'm a bad guy. I'm the mean lady with more squats. All right. Now we're done.
There we go. Keep those feet moving. Don't stop. At least a small walk in place. But go ahead and hit pause if you need a little extra rest. We'll be starting into that next round here in just a second. All right, everyone, let's go ahead and get started with our strength training portion of this routine. We're going to be doing 4 different groups of 2 different exercises each in an AB-AB pattern. And we're going to be doing 2 sets of each exercise and 8 repetitions per set.
The amount of weight that you're going to want to lift for each of these exercises is completely dependent on your own strength. So listen to your body and try to grab a weight that makes it very hard to complete those last few reps. We're starting off with squats, so go ahead and grab your weights. Just as a reference point, I have 12 pounds per hand for this one.
And I'm using 15, not much more than Kelly because my legs are still really sore from the last workout I did.
Okay.
All right,
ready?
so 8 repetitions, nice and slow, clean form. Down nice and slow, keep that back flat, right back up. Make sure those lungs stay open, no holding your breath.
It helps to inhale on the way down and then exhale during the hardest part when you're pushing back up.
A proper form for a squat is the same angle on your shin as on your back, making sure that back is flat.
Is this 6?
I have no idea.
7 and 8. All right. Next up, we're doing long lunges. So we're going to start on one side of the body and do an entire set on one side, and then we'll get the other side in the next set. So I'm going to start with my right first. You good?
I'm going to start with my left first, so there.
Oh, great. That's confusing. Okay.
Start
Here we
up.
go.
Step it up, down as low as is comfortable. The further you step forward, the harder this lunge is going to be. The more weight you use, obviously the harder it's going to be as well.
There's 4. If you want to make this a balance challenge as well, come back up. Don't sit your foot back down. 2 more. Makes it quite a lot harder on that core. All right. There we go.
All right, back to those squats. Now for those of you out there who are probably complaining that you're having to do strength training with this routine, Get over it. Strength training is incredibly important no matter who you are. All right, start them up. So whether you are male, female, young, old, it does not matter. Strength training is what you want to do if you want to increase your metabolism permanently. Building that muscle tissue, the more muscle tissue you have, the higher your metabolism is going to be, that resting metabolism. So if you want to be able to have a little bit larger meals each meal time, strength training is the way to go.
The last one. All right.
Good.
Yeah.
Back to those lunges.
Okay, so remember to switch legs this time. Strength training, speaking of the whole, it's appropriate for everyone sort of thing. There's literally not an age that shouldn't strength train. It's always going to look different, exactly what you do, depending on your strengths and weaknesses, what you're capable of. But the general concept, I mean, even kids, it's a myth that strength training stunts your growth. It's good, it has benefits for your body from very early and very late in life.
2 more.
Last one.
And let it relax. We're going to set those dumbbells down for just a second. Now with strength training, it is perfectly fine to take longer breaks in between sets. All that's doing is allowing you to put a little bit more glycogen back into your muscle tissue so you can lift a little bit heavier each time. Strength training isn't necessarily something you want to move through really, really rapidly. So our next 2 exercises are going to be deadlifts and side lunges. So go ahead and be thinking about what amount of weight you want to use for both of those. We'll start them up here in just a second. All right, so let's go ahead and start into that first exercise, those deadlifts. So grab that weight you need for that. Go a little bit heavier on this one.
24 pounds per hand here.
Oh, nice. Going 30 pounds. So nice and slow, flat back, perfectly flat back. Keep those legs relatively straight. Down as low as is comfortable. Should feel a little bit of a stretch to that hamstring at the bottom of that range of motion. If you want to bend those knees slightly, that's perfectly fine. Makes it a little more of a regular deadlift if you bend those knees. If you want to go into a straight leg deadlift, which is typically what we do when we're saying a deadlift, you keep those legs almost completely locked out.
Make sure that you're going the same speed on the way up and the way down. There's parts that you're going to want to rush because it's harder than others, but force yourself to take your time through the entire range of motion. Here's the last one. All right. And actually, I'm going to go really light on this one.
Side lunges are particularly nasty, or at least Kelly and I both are pretty weak at them, so adjust that weight accordingly.
We have 3 pounds per hand here. So just going, keep one leg straight, squat down as far as you can on the other side, and then switch, repeat on the other side.
Keep those lungs open, nice flat back. Try to get as much range of motion as you can.
That's 8, yeah?
Yep, and let it relax.
Right.
Back to those deadlifts. All right, nice flat back, and start them up.
Inhale on the way down, exhale as you press back up. So if you're brand new to strength training and exercise in general, you can do all of these exercises with just body weight and still get a good workout. Just as you get stronger, start to do the more advanced version or start to add weight.
Last one. And let it relax.
Alright, back to those side lunges. Ready?
Yep.
Alright.
Keep those lungs open. Back flat. As much range of motion from side to side as you can. Remember, only one knee bends at a time. That's it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
Okay, great. Alright, next up we have calf raises. So go ahead and grab whatever weight is going to challenge you. If you need to, just stand next to a wall for extra balance. All right, let's grab your weights. I think I have 12s. Good?
Mm-hmm.
So push up on your tiptoes and nice and slow lower back down. So again, this is another time where you want to try and practice total control over your body.
That's number 4. Now, if you have really bad balance, I know a lot of people do, then you can always grab a hold of the back of a chair. Just use 1 dumbbell at a time. You just need to double the weight from what you'd be using for 2.
That's our last one.
Relax.
All right.
Also, it helps to have a little extra lift to do your calf raises off of if you have one handy. All right.
All right. Pull squats next. These are painful. So I have 12s, 12 in each hand for this one. So we're going to sink down into a regular squat, and then at the bottom of the range of motion, naturally the most painful part, we're going to do 3 slow pulses before we push back up. Ready?
All right, let's do it.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Down,
1,
1, 2, 3, and up.
Okay, just take your time. Nice slow pulse.
So if your forearm starts to suffer, stop and lower your weight or drop your weight altogether. It's better to do it with proper form than it is to do it with a heavier weight and sloppy form.
Halfway.
Oh.
3 more.
2 more. Ouch. Right. So when you do strength training sessions back and forth like this, back to back to back, it pretty much becomes cardio because you're working hard enough and you're taking so little rest that you're just pouring sweat and breathing hard, your heart rate's up. It's good for in all different kinds of ways. All right, back to those calf raises. Ready?
Let's start them up. Try to get up onto the tip of those toes as high as you possibly can. Back down. Barely let that heel touch the ground. Don't put actually any weight in that heel. Right back up.
There's 5, yeah?
Uh-huh.
Last one. All right, I have to lower my weight for the squats. I'm going for 9 pounds a hand now.
Use the same I was last time, which is 15.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Ready?
Yep.
Here we go. I have just one more set after this.
1,
2,
3.
1.
Now, I'm not using the same amount of weight that I normally would when I'm trying to do strength training just because my legs are a little bit sore. It doesn't mean you can't necessarily strength train on them. It just means you need to be a little bit nicer to them.
It's also a reflection about how sometimes our own workout schedule gets really messed up by our filming schedule. All right, that's it.
Nice.
All right, we're on our last set here. We're doing a weighted bridge plus a hamstring pull.
So that weighted bridge, you'll want to have some weight for. You just press it up on top of your hips. Hamstring pull, you're not going to need any weight for that one, unless you happen to have some ankle weights. All right, you ready?
Yeah. All right, so feet flat on the ground. Go ahead and lay down. And balance your weights right on your hip bones there. And we're going to be pressing up into a bridge. You ready?
Yep.
All right.
Keep those lungs open, squeeze those glutes as best you can. Really press those hips up. All that weight in your heel, you want to make sure that you're not pushing up onto those toes. Otherwise, those calves will have a tendency to try to cramp up on you a little bit. Try to be nice and even with that weight from left to right foot. got one extra.
Oh, that's okay. All right. So now we're gonna kneel your weight in your forearms and your knees. We'll do 8 on each side, yeah?
Okay.
Okay, so you're putting your foot out, up, and then extend it and pull it back in before you tuck it back down. And then repeat on the opposite leg. So once you're here, you're pulling that in there, and you have to really work against yourself, but if you do it right, you can feel this in the backs of your thighs and your hamstrings. Really squeeze that glute while you hold it up there to do that, bring that leg back in.
So you want to be feeling this as much as you can in the back of that thigh and that hamstring. So if you're not, really focus on trying to get a tight, tight squeeze. Even work against yourself if you need to with that quadricep in front of that thigh.
Here's 7. We'll be doing 16 altogether. So here's our halfway point. Make sure you're pulling in your core. This is also good for your stomach and your lower back. Make everything be working, just squeeze everything.
That's 12.
2 more on each side. It starts to burn like crazy.
Yeah, it does.
Alright, 1 more on each side.
And let that relax. Flip back over onto your back, grab those weights again. Another round of those bridges. Alright, heels in as close to your butt as comfortable. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Alright, start them up. Squeeze those hips up nice and high. Press into those heels.
Inhale on the way down. Exhale as you push back up. Four? Okay. Can't see you. Last one. Oh. Yes.
Alright, back over onto those knees and elbows.
Right, this is our last one before we move on to a cool down and stretch.
You ready?
Here we go. So leg out, draw that foot up towards your butt, extend the leg back out, and then tuck it back in.
Same thing on the other side. It's nice and slow. Alternating back and forth. Make sure you get a tight squeeze.
So we do these really slowly, and sometimes people ask why, but you can answer that question for yourself. If you do this motion really quickly versus really slowly, I dare you, and you'll know the difference. If you move slowly and deliberately, you force your muscle to work really hard through a range of motion that might otherwise be really easy. Here's our halfway point. 8 reps between you and a cool down.
One of the nice things about moving nice and slowly like this as well is that you actually build up more control if you move slowly. It forces your body to have to work that entire range of motion, control your body in any position, builds up a lot more balance, a lot more control over your body in general.
2 more on each side. So this is kind of a Pilates based move. And so in this one routine, day 1, we have done regular cardio, we've done HIIT, we've done strength training, we've done plyometrics, and we've done a little bit of Pilates, and we'll finish up with a little bit of yoga, yoga and stretching.
Hence the name, Fitness Blender.
Okay, where are we at?
Alright, that's the last one.
That's it?
That's it.
Woo.
Alright.
Great. The fun part.
Now we get to do our stretch cool down. you want to pause it real quick and go grab a drink of water, do that. Otherwise, we're going to start right into it.
All right.
So, start off with just regular toe touch. Nice and slow down. Kind of shake those legs out just a little bit. Only go down as far as is comfortable. And let that one relax.
All right. Want to do an inside thigh stretch?
Sure.
Lean away from me. So keep this leg straight and bend over as much as you need to feel stretch all along the inside of the thigh here. So none of these stretches should ever be painful. If you are inflexible and you can't go very far, don't worry about it. With time, you'll get more and more flexible, so just be patient, but never push to the point where you feel any kind of pain.
Go ahead and switch sides. Just keep those lungs open, press into that stretch the entire time, always trying to get just a little bit further. And down, relax. And stand back up, grab a wall or back of a chair if you need it for balance. Otherwise, heel back up to that butt as close as comfortable. And then press that knee back behind you, still trying to keep that torso straight up and down.
Go ahead and switch sides.
Yep. Heel to butt, pull that knee back, chest straight up and down, keep those lungs open. And let that relax.
Let's go for a downward dog combination here.
Okay.
So come down, walk your hands out. Try to press your heels to the ground. If you can't, that's okay, but just act as if you are. And then also try to press your head down in between your shoulders so you get a nice calf stretch, a hamstring stretch along the back of the thighs here, as well as a shoulder stretch.
You kind of look up and see what you're doing. You do anything extra over there?
Not yet. Actually, let's step out now into kind of a tall plank, and then put one foot, hook one foot behind the other leg so you get a nice calf stretch.
And you have to kick those hips up just a little bit to get the leverage on this one to push down into that calf. Just one at a time.
I'm really happy that our neighbor decided to do his lawn today.
Mm-hmm. That's what we get for filming on a
lawnmower, ambiance. Actually, we encourage you, once you know the form of these exercises and you know how these routines go, we encourage you to mute us and put on your favorite music, whatever motivates you. What do you want to do next?
You want to go into like shell or deep glute?
Yeah, I like that.
Torso twist, like that?
Okay, let's start off with a cobra.
Okay, cobra it is.
I like cobra and then shell stretch. Alright, go ahead and push back. Slowly rock back, sit on your feet. This is another nice, gonna get a stretch of your entire back as well as your chest and your shoulders again.
And move into shell stretch by pulling those knees or those hands back by those knees. Press those palms into the ground, round that back up as much as you can, trying to pull those shoulders down into your hips. back.
You make a really good stretch.
Deep lift? Yep, sure. So one leg crossed over top of the other. Grab behind the thigh of that leg that's on the bottom. Pull in as close as is comfortable. You should feel it in the opposite leg, the one that's crossed over top. Just keep those lungs open. Try to relax as much as you can.
And then switch. What? I wondered about that.
And go ahead and let that one relax. Anything else?
Let's do one more. Let's do a modified pigeon. So tuck one leg up under your body so you get a nice stretch through your hip flexors on the leg that is extended behind you. If you lean back a little bit, you can feel a stretch through your core as well.
Try tilting your hips back and forth to get a little bit different stretch each time. Just kind of work through different spots, try to find what's tight and what's not.
Actually, take both hands now and rotate and place them on the outside of this leg that is bent. So you get a nice torso stretch all through here. Remember, this shouldn't hurt, only move as much as you can with all these. Kind of lean back so you get a side stretch. All right, go ahead and switch feet. Tuck the opposite leg under your body.
Hey.
Hi, how are you?
Fancy meeting you here.
A little sweaty.
A little bit.
You come around.
Yeah, pretty often, yeah, I see.
All right, now take both hands and rotate to over that folded leg.
Just go as far as is comfortable. If all these are a little bit too advanced for you, just try to find something that's similar. It's going to work through that hip flexor as well as a little bit through that glute. You can always add that torso in there later.
Yeah. All right. You good?
Mm-hmm. All right, everybody, that is the end of day number 1, which means this workout is complete.
So what you're going to want to do now is make sure you drink lots of water and watch your nutritional choices. So eat clean, and that we want you to eat as few processed foods as possible. So forget anything health food and just eat real food. So like the tried and tested fruits, veggies, whole grains, and lean sources of protein.
You want to make sure that everything that goes into your body basically is as close to being picked out of the field as possible, kind of a thing. If you are a carnivore, if you like a little bit of meat, then you want to make sure that you add in as small portion size as possible. You want to just go for that base serving size, which is only about the size of a deck of cards, believe it or not. So nothing huge on the meat side. If you can, avoid it altogether and go for primarily vegan or vegetarian style.
So if you're eating those whole foods, then you have less to worry about in terms of calorie consumption. If you're not eating fried and packaged foods, it's a little bit harder to go over calorically. What we do want to make sure is that you're not using this 5-day challenge as a crash diet. So there is never any reason ever to eat under 1,200 calories a day, and there's a very high likelihood that you need quite a lot more than that. For example, I eat between 2,500 and 3,200 calories a day.
And if I during this 5-day routine, because it's so intense, I'll be eating pretty close to 5,000 calories a day.
Right. So we want you to know, food is not the enemy. Make sure you're not starving yourself. You need to fuel your body for life and these workouts. So make sure that you're eating well.
Some other quick tips you might want to try to work on while you're going through this 5-day challenge is try to avoid alcohol. If you can, try not to have any of it through this 5 days to get the most bang out of your buck. Make sure you're drinking tons of water. You want to drink a lot of water through this. Water actually, if you're drinking cold water, actually burns calories for you, so that's always a good thing. no calorie drinks whatsoever. So no fruit juices, no sports drinks, nothing that has calories in it. Just stick with water for these 5 days. Also, make sure you eat not only 3 meals a day, but try to get some snacks in there as well. So take all those calories you're supposed to be eating in the day and just kind of divvy them up as you need to. So anywhere from 3 to 6 similarly sized meals, or 3 meals and 3 snacks. Other than that, can you think of any others?
Just trust this program. Know that, like, a lot of people will say, do I need to do anything else? Well, you just did HIIT and you just did strength training. So especially the muscles of your lower body are going to need to heal now. So no extra crazy workouts. Tomorrow we'll be doing a little extra cardio, and we'll be doing strength training for the upper body. So you want to make sure that you don't exhaust those muscle groups either, because they're going to be needing to work tomorrow. So don't panic and attack on 15 extra workouts to this one. You have done plenty just now.
If basically the only other thing physical activity wise that you want to be doing on top of this program is daily life activities, like cleaning the house, running after kids, grocery shopping, that kind of thing, and maybe if you want to go out for a walk, that'd be fine, but no jogging, running, no steady state cardio, no other strength training. This is all you need.
Yeah. So we hope you enjoyed this first day, and we will see you tomorrow morning.
See you guys.